What up, everybody? This is my BMF Season 2, Episode 3 predictions and trailer breakdown. And we got K9 telling Meech that he needs him to track down a dealer named Travis and bring him to K9 alive. And we met this guy named Travis in the last episode. He was gambling at K9's club or spot, whatever that is. And he was the one K9 told Meech about, that you gotta watch those who talk too much when they are winning. And as K9 took Meech to the back to get his money, Travis started hitting on K9's girl. He started saying, I know you're K9's girl and all, but you're your own woman. He had her blowing on his dice and everything. So it was a flat out sign of disrespect to K9, and we know he is not going to tolerate that. But at the time, K9 pretended not to hear him, but we already know he did. And K9 won't tolerate no disrespect, so he's asking Meech to bring him this guy Travis alive, and he promised to break Meech off by doing this. Honestly, I think Meech should have told him no, have one of your goons or somebody, but he doesn't want to let K9 down. He probably is scared to say no to him. And in the meantime, he's going to get broken off really nice. Probably something fat, 5 to 10 keys or something for doing this. I'm expecting him not just to get one key. He's already re-upping 20 keys, so I'd expect it to be at least half to a quarter of his re-up that he gonna get looked out for by doing this. So he gets Mickie to go with him, and we see them invading Travis's home and shots being fired. So we see Mickie going with him, and Mickie, we already know, is working with Detective Bryant. And this possibly, which I don't think it will be, could be Mickie setting Meech up during this home invasion of Travis, and Bryant going to take him down, because that's a serious crime. Home invasion and kidnapping ain't nothing to be played with. He could put Meech away for at least a good 10 to 15 years for that. But I don't think this is what's gonna happen. We do see Bryant expecting to take down Meech in this episode, because at the beginning of the trailer we see him and Detective Veronica Jen, and he says we're gonna take Meech down for good this time. So my question is, will Meech get arrested in this particular episode? I did predict that Meech will get arrested on not on anything big or any charges that were going to put him in prison for a long time, but I did expect him to get arrested in this particular season, because I have seen a mugshot from the real Big Meech's childhood while he looked like he was still probably a teenager. He still had the tail in the back of his head and everything like that. However, we did see Meech getting arrested for a few minutes in the last season, so maybe that could be the time that I'm thinking of where we see his mugshot. But moving on to the bigger story here is this. I think Mickie is going to try to make a move in this episode to kill Detective Bryant, because Detective Bryant has been blackmailing Mickie to be his informant, because he has the gun that he used on J-Mo and Kato, and he's using this to get information on Meech from Mickie. So we see in the trailer Mickie is he's outside shooting at someone, and that could definitely be Bryant, but I'll get into that in a minute. But we see also Mickie setting someone's house and car on fire, and it definitely looks like it is Bryant's cop car. So there's an outside chance that this could be Meech and Mickie setting up Travis, the dealer that they have to go kidnap, so they could get him to run outside and then they can snatch him up. But I think this is Mickie acting on his own to try to take out Detective Bryant without Meech being involved with this. So we also see in the trailer someone being dragged out as a result, dragged out of their house as a result of Mickie setting it on fire. And if you look close enough, it definitely looks like it is Detective Veronica Jin dragging Detective Bryant out of his house. So we already know that Bryant is going to survive because we see him in episode 1 in a flash forward to 2005 arresting Southwest T all the way in St. Louis. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't think a Detroit cop would have jurisdiction in St. Louis. However, if T was wanted in Detroit, that could possibly be why we saw Bryant able to be involved with making the arrest of T while he was in St. Louis. I was thinking possibly Bryant got moved up to a federal agent. That's why he would have jurisdiction in more than one state. But I'm thinking maybe they gotta bring him back, extradite T back to Detroit, so maybe that's why Bryant was able to be involved with that arrest. But we do know that he is going to survive. But getting back to what I said, we see Mickie shooting at someone. That could definitely be him shooting at Veronica Jin while she is dragging Bryant out of the house. So we know Bryant's going to survive. We don't know about Detective Veronica Jin. However, if Bryant's house gets set on fire, could the gun possibly get hindered enough to eliminate the evidence that Bryant has on Mickie? I honestly am not educated enough on this particular subject to know if this could possibly hinder the evidence. I know it's a possibility. If the gun is loaded, it could explode, and that would definitely completely get rid of all the evidence. But I don't know anything past that. If there would be still a way they could prove that was Mickie's gun and everything else. Another question I have about this house fire, we saw in, I believe it was episode 1 of this season, Detective Bryant has a son. Could he be a casualty as a result of this house fire? Maybe Detective Veronica Jin drags Bryant out the house, but she doesn't know that his son is also in the house. So that is a big time storyline. Moving on to episode 3 that we will have to wait and see. And we will also see someone is going to mess with Terry's car, causing Nicole to get banged up in an incident. We see Roland reporting this news back to Meech that someone messed with Terry's car. We also see Terry's father, Charles, accusing T of getting back into the drug game. But we already know that T has made a few enemies already as a car driver. First off, with the Touch of Class car service, he was at Marquisha's job vandalizing their flyers by marking out their name and writing and phone number and writing the Flannery Family Car Service and their phone number over the Touch of Class car service flyers. The man already shook T's head at the airport and told him he had been warned. And then right after that, T went ahead and opened his door and took one of their potential customers. He could possibly have even do something more to cause even more beef with the Touch of Class car service coming up in episode 3 that causes them to retaliate, or this possibly was enough for them to retaliate already. But it's not just the Touch of Class car service he made ops with in the car game. He also made an op with the security officer from the airport who was extorting money from the drivers to be able to park their car on the curb and wait for customers. T stood up to him and said he will not pay him, and none of the other drivers are going to pay him either, and they're going to make a report to the airport about his scheme. So this could definitely be someone who is looking to retaliate against T and the Flannery car service to try to get revenge for taking out his extortation scheme. However, we do see Meech getting involved with this situation, and he is going to definitely want revenge for someone being able to hurt his little sister Nicole. We see him in the trailer pinning someone up against the wall, and I believe that might be one of the drivers that drives from the airport. He possibly could be getting information from that person. I don't know who he has pinned up against the wall, but whoever did this, whether it's the security officer or the Touch of Class car service, I do believe that by the end of episode 3 that Meech and T, one of the two, if not both of them, will get their revenge for messing with their car and injuring their little sister. Sticking with T, T makes the move on Markeisha. It seems like she is having problems with Boom. We hear in the original trailer from the scene we see in the episode 3 trailer, he tells her, "If you were my girl, I would cherish you." So he's making the move on Boom's wife. So we barely have met this guy Boom. We saw him briefly in episode 1 of season 1. We definitely know he is a fellow drug trafficker. He is a friend of Pat. So we found out in season 1 that Pat is a crackhead. So I wonder if this guy Boom is also a crackhead. Could he possibly be playing with his nose? But Terry is playing in dangerous water right now because we just got done talking about K9 wanting revenge on this dealer named Travis for disrespecting him by hollering at his girl. At some point, Boom is gonna want revenge on Terry because we already know Terry's gonna take Boom's girl from him. So at some point, Boom is definitely gonna want revenge. Moving on, we see Lamar dressed up and up to something. So it definitely looks like he is recovered enough to be on his own 2 feet now. He's dressed. What is Lamar's next move going to be? Is he going to go directly to Meech? Is he going to go after T? Who is he going to go after? He knows where the Flannery family lives, and since they think he's dead, they definitely don't have the security guards. So Lamar is a wild card. There ain't no telling what his next move is going to be. And is Lamar now wanted by the cops? Because I don't know if he killed the security officer or just choked him out in order to escape the hospital. But he at least hurt a security officer. Someone said he killed the security officer. I don't know whether because if he killed the security officer, he's going to for sure be wanted by the cops. So I don't know. He's going to be real cautious how he moves in the streets, that he's not spotted by any law enforcement. And at the very end of the trailer, we see a white boy who got dice in his mirror, either getting his window shot at or his window broken. Could this be someone who is involved with the slashing of the tires with the car service? That's what I'm expecting this to be. Someone either associated with the security guard or the Touch of Class car service. And there you have it. Episode 3 predictions. Leave yours in the comments.